We are live now, sir.
Yeah. Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Shrotriya Sadguru Sri Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us, today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue with the Mangalacharana shlokas. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Sri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Last time in the Viveka Chudamani discourse, the verse number or the shloka number 211, 211, it was stopped. So from today, the verse number 212, the discourse will commence. As usual, these talks are based on mainly the commentary given by Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal of Sri Sringeri Sharada Peeth. I'll take up the shloka itself first. Now the disciple, that is the qualified Uttama Adhikari, the qualified disciple, after listening to Acharya all these while with concentration, now he puts the question, direct question, emanating from the intellect or the buddhi. Mithyattvena nishiddheshu kosheshveteshu panchasu sarvabhavam vina kinchit na pashyamatra he guru vijneyam kimu vastvasti swatmanatra vipaschita. Mithyattvena nishiddheshu kosheshveteshu panchasu sarva abhavam Vina kinchit na pashyami atra he guru vijneyam kimu vastu asti swatmana atra vipaschita. ಈಗ ಶಿಷ್ಯನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ. ಸದ್ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ಶಿಷ್ಯನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬಹಳ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಸದ್ಗುರು ಪ್ರಭು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೋಶಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ನಿರಾಕರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು ಈ ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸ್ಥೂಲ ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅನ್ನಮಯ ಕೋಶ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಪ್ರಾಣವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಾಣಮಯ ಕೋಶ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಮನೋಮಯ ಕೋಶವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಮನಸ್ಸೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಬುದ್ಧಿಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ, ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಇದು ಆನಂದಮಯ ಕೋಶವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆನಂದವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆದ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಏನು ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ? ಬರೀ ಉಳಿಯುವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಏನು? ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ನಿರಾಕರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಉಳಿಯೋದೇನು ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಕೇವಲ ಶೂನ್ಯ, ಅಭಾವ, ಸರ್ವತ್ರ ಅಭಾವ, ಸರ್ವ ಅಭಾವ, ಸರ್ವಾಭಾವ ಉಳಿಯತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಗುರುದೇವ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ವಿವೇಕಿಯಾದವನು ಈ ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತುವನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು? ಇದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ now, with a concentrated mind and buddhi, now the disciple is asking the Guru with the folded hands, the qualified disciple. ಮಿಥ್ಯಾತ್ವೇನ ನಿಷಿದ್ಧೇಷು ಕೋಶೇಷು ಏತೇಷು ಪಂಚಸು. If all these 5 koshas are negated, Gurudeva, hey Sadguru, Guru Sarvabhauma, please tell me, according to your explanation all the time, you said, look, my dear disciple, you said that this your body is not Atma. That is, the Sthula Sharira is not Atma. That is Annamaya Kosha. Your Annamaya Kosha is not Atma. The Prana Sanchara, Prana Shakti inside is not Atma. Not Parabrahma Vastu. Not Atma Vastu. Your Manomaya Kosha, your mind is also so powerful internal component, that is also not Atma. Your Vijnanamaya Kosha, that is your Buddhi, intellect, the reasoning power, even that is not Atma. And this Anandamaya Kosha, the ecstasy or the bliss we get in our life, in the waking state, or even in the dream state, or the total ecstasy we experience in the deep sleep state, even that Ananda is not Atma Vastu. You are saying like that, Gurudeva. Sarva bhavam vina kinchit na pashyami atra he Guru. So if everything is negated, I find only abhava, total emptiness. Sarva abhava, sarva bhavam pashyami atra he Guru. I see only the total emptiness. If this body, mind, prana, buddhi, aham, this bliss, this ana, if all these things are removed, what else is there? There is a total emptiness. Sarva abhav. Pashyami atra he Guru. I am seeing only total emptiness. Then he says, the disciple says, Vijneyam kimu vastu asti swatmana atra vipaschita. So in that case, Gurudeva, you are the qualified Sarvajna. You are the Brahma Shotriya, Brahma Jnani himself. So you please tell me, then the vipaschita means the intellectual, discerning disciple with viveka. How this person can discern the reality. If everything is unreal, then what is real? Vijneyam kimu. Vipaschita vijneyam kimu asti. Kim vastu asti. So then what else is there to be understood by a viveki? Vipaschita means by a viveki, a jijnasu. How we can understand? If everything is mithya, then what else remains? So that is a question. Now, before we go to the answers, now please bear with me. Please attentively, please listen what Chandrasekhar Bharati Mahaswamigal has hinted in his commentary on this shloka, and what my Gurudev has explained that in detail to me personally. Now, this question is a subtle indication by Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada. He has, in the form of a question by the disciple, Acharya, who is writing these shlokas. Now, what he is hinting here is, around 2000 years before, up to the time of Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada, what was most prevailing at that time in the spiritual horizon of our country? ಆಚಾರ್ಯರ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗಿಂತ ಹಿಂದೆ 500 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ತನಕ, ಇನ್ನು 100, 600, 700 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಭಾವ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಸನಾತನ ಧರ್ಮದ ನಿರಾಕರಣೆ ಇತ್ತು. ವೇದ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ನಿರಾಕರಣೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಆ ಸಂದರ್ಭ. ಇತರೆ ಮತಗಳ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಬಹಳ ಬಲವಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸನಾತನ ಧರ್ಮವೇ ಮುಚ್ಚಿ ಹೋಗುವಂತ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇತ್ತು. ವೇದಗಳನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಗಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ದೋಸ್ ವರ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ, if you go to the history of Indian philosophy, you will understand all these things. It is vast information, which this is not the platform to go into all the details. You can read number of books on Indian history of philosophy. See, Swami Prabhavananda, one of the direct disciples of Swami Brahmananda. Swami Brahmananda was a direct disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So, Swami Brahmananda's disciple, Swami Prabhavananda, he has done such a wonderful job. He has contributed so much to Indian philosophy. There is a wonderful book he has written, summarizing the Indian philosophy totally, in a beautiful way, that is called The Spiritual Heritage of India by Swami Prabhavananda. I'm just quoting one example. Spiritual Heritage of India by Swami Prabhavananda, published by Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna Math, long back. So, at that time, the negating Sanatana Dharma was very common. Not believing in Upanishads or Veda, that was also there. So there was so many sects were there. They are called non-Vedic sects. So they never believed in the supremacy of either Vedas or Upanishads. So they never believed the existence of this Atma and Paramatma Vastu. Even the presence of Atma was not totally incorporated in their teachings. So when Atma itself is not there in the teaching, where is a question of Paramatma? So that concept of Atma, Paramatma was not there. Belief on Upanishads was not there. They were all discarded totally. That was a time, that was a state of our spiritual history during those times. Even before Acharya came into scene. So looking into that, so there was a particular non-Vedic sect called the Madhyamika sect, Shunyavadi sect as it is called, or Madhyamika sect. According to Madhyamikas, Shunyavadins, there is no question of Atma and Paramatma. See, this Jagat, this world as we see, perceive, is only Kshanika. It is a temporary. This world itself, what appears as a solid matter to our eyes and experienced in the form of sounds to our ears, this is nothing. This world as we observe in waking state is only a non-existing entity. In reality, it is not there. What the world appears, it is not like that. Everything ultimately at the highest level, when you reach the highest point, it leads to total shunyavada, total emptiness, totally void. That is called nirvana. So there is nothing. Totally void, total emptiness. So that point in the mind, that question has come from the mouth of the Shishya here, disciple. So if everything you discard, if the body is not Atma, the mind is not Atma, the buddhi is also not Atma, this aham ego is also not Atma. If the prana traversing in the body, responsible for the body to remain conscious and living. More than that, because of prana shakti, even that is not Atma. Then what is it? Then what is it? So there is total emptiness. Total emptiness. See how beautifully the logic sets in. ಯಾವುದು ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ? ಕೇವಲ ಶೂನ್ಯ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಖಾಲಿ. ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋ ಅವಸ್ಥೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ 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 ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ ಉಳಿಯೋದೇನಿದೆ? ಸೊನ್ನೆ, ಶೂನ್ಯ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಸರ್ವ ಅಭಾವ is sarvabhava, means total emptiness. That is the main question. Now, the answer for this, Acharya now takes up. He is getting a question from the disciple's mouth, and now the Acharya, Sadguru, is explaining about the mystery of Atma Tattva, in other words. Is it really empty? Then what is it? If you are not the body, mind, ego, prana, or even ananda, or even buddhi, then what are you? See, that is the question. And then the answers will commence. And now the real difficult part will commence. Because the answer is not a sudden magical answer. So there is a question, next immediately there is another shloka as an answer. It is not like that. The answer to this question of the Shishya, Acharya takes up now. That is the this is the 212th shloka now. That is in the form of the question. Then the answer will commence. It goes on from 214th shloka, 13th and 14th included, from 214th shloka onwards up to the shloka number 275, time number 275. So it's a vast number of shlokas. More than 60 shlokas are there. So please remember, you cannot get the answer in one go itself. Acharya now takes us deep into the core subject matter of Atma Tattva. Step by step, step by step, step by step, slowly and slowly and slowly, he goes on explaining in the vast repertory of his command over the Sanskrit language and the verse formation meter. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಒಂದೇಟಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಮುಂದೆ 213ನೇ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಿಂದ 275ನೇ ಶ್ಲೋಕದವರೆಗೆ ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಹಂತ ಹಂತವಾಗಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಈ ಆತ್ಮತತ್ವದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. Our Gurudev, once on this point, he took up one major, very important, very, very powerful, well-known Shanti mantra, one of the Shanti mantras of Upanishads. That is, our Gurudev referred that Shanti mantra and explained for more than 45 minutes on this. That corresponds to this question itself. Is there a total emptiness if you negate everything? No. What is called as a shunya, total emptiness, here, Gurudev said, quoting that Upanishad Shanti mantra, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Shanti mantra. Our Gurudev started this. like this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. So he explained what is known as a Shunya to the Madhyamika sect, Shunyavadins. It is not like that. Our Upanishads declare vehemently, our Sanatana Dharma says very clearly, precisely, this Shunya, Sarva Abhava, means not emptiness. It is the whole, the totally full, Purna. This is not Shunya, but it is Purna. What is that Purna word literally means? Our Gurudev explained that. Purna in the literal sense means totally full, not empty. It is completely full. The entire thing is a whole thing. ಪೂರ್ಣ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ವವನ್ನೂ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಅಡಕವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಪೂರ್ಣ. ಪೂರ್ಣ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ is included. There is nothing which escapes from this Purna. Purna represents that where everything comes in, everything gets in. So it becomes a whole, not empty, not at all empty. So he went on. Purnamadaha Purnamidam. Upanishad say, Shanti Mantra say that. Adaha means that. Idam means this phenomenal Jagat or world as we see. Idam means Jagat. Idam ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ. ಅದಂ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತು, ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಗೋಚರವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತು. ಅದಂ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥ, ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು, ಇನ್ವಿಸಿಬಲ್, indescribable. You cannot, it is limitless, ananta. You can't sense it by your sense organs. So even that is Purna. Purnamadaha Purnamidam. Even this phenomenal world is also Purna. See how the Upanishad explains. So in the highest Parimarthik sense, in the highest Vedantic sense, ಉಚ್ಚ ಮಟ್ಟದ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ವಿಶ್ಲೇಷಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೂ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಮತ್ತು ಇದೂ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ? ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನೂ ಪೂರ್ಣ ವಸ್ತು, ಈ ಜಗತ್ತು ಪೂರ್ಣ ವಸ್ತುವೇ. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ? ಪೂರ್ಣಮದಃ ಪೂರ್ಣಮಿದಂ ಪೂರ್ಣಾತ್ ಪೂರ್ಣಮುದ್ಯತೆ. ಆ ಪೂರ್ಣದಿಂದ ಈ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್. ಆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನಿಂದ, ಪರವಸ್ತುವಿನಿಂದ ಈ ಜಗತ್ತು, ಈ ವಿಶ್ವ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್ ಪೂರ್ಣ, ದಿಸ್ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅರೈವ್ಡ್, ಒರಿಜಿನೇಟೆಡ್. ಪೂರ್ಣಾತ್ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಮುದ್ಯತೆ. ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೋಲ್, ಟೋಟಲ್, ಎನ್ಕಂಪಾಸಿಂಗ್, ದಿಸ್ ಪೂರ್ಣ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪೂರ್ಣ? ದಿಸ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸ್, ದಿಸ್ ಜಗತ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆರಿಜಿನ್. From that Purna, this Purna has come. In simple English, Purnasya Purnamadaya. So, third line is very interesting, our Gurudev. Purnasya Purnamadaya. If you subtract Purna from this Purna, andre Purnasya Purnamadaya, andre ಈ ಪೂರ್ಣದಿಂದ ಆ ಪೂರ್ಣವನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಈ ಪೂರ್ಣದಿಂದ ಆ ಪೂರ್ಣವನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಪೂರ್ಣಸ್ಯ ಪೂರ್ಣಮಾದಾಯ. Now what does it mean? ಪೂರ್ಣಸ್ಯ ಪೂರ್ಣಮಾದಾಯ. ಪೂರ್ಣಸ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ from this visible universe which is purna, whole, if you take out purnamadaya, that purna, that brahmavastu, that means taking out, adaya here, taking out means if you really understand the substratum underlying the whole universe is Brahma Padartha only, Paramatma only. That is the point here. Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva avashishyate. Only the Purna will remain eternal. Only Brahmavastu will remain eternal. So the word Purna is used in our Upanishad language, Indian philosophy. So the total emptiness as commonly called, it is not like that. It is not emptiness. It is totally a whole thing encompassing everything. See, in very brief, I just wanted to remind you what my Gurudev has explained for more than 45 minutes to 1 hour on this. So the point is, now the Shishya is asking, if you remove everything, then there is nothing. So it's not like that. That's the point. Now Acharya starts explaining. Then what is that? What is that it will remain? So now the real Atma Nirupana, Brahma Vastu Padartha Nirupana. Now the Acharya's direct discourse on the nature of Atma, nature of Pratyagatma, the nature of Brahma Vastu, or in simple, the nature of God, the nature of Bhagavan. Who is that God? What is that God? As we commonly use the word, what is that Paramatma? Now he started explaining directly for the benefit of the qualified disciple. ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಶಿಷ್ಯನ ಸಂಶಯಗಳಿಗೆ. ಉತ್ತರವಾಗಿ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಏನ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಭಗವಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇನ್ನ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ಉವಾಚ ಸತ್ಯಮುಕ್ತಂ ತ್ವಯಾ ವಿದ್ವನ್ ನಿಪುಣೋಸಿ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಅಹಮಾದಿ ವಿಕಾರಾಸ್ತೆ ತದಭಾವೋ ಅಯಮಪ್ಯಥಾ. ಸತ್ಯಂ ಮುಕ್ತಂ ತ್ವಯಾ ವಿದ್ವನ್ ನಿಪುಣೋಸಿ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಅಹಮಾದಿ ವಿಕಾರಾಸ್ತೆ ತದಭಾವೋ ಅಯಮಪ್ಯಥಾ. Now he starts. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ನೀನು ಬಹಳ ಕುಶಲನಾಗಿದ್ದೀಯಾ, ಚತುರತೆಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದ್ದೀಯಾ, ಚತುರನಾಗಿದ್ದೀಯಾ, ನಿಪುಣನಾಗಿದ್ದೀಯಾ, ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಲೈನ್, ಅಹಮಾದಿ ವಿಕಾರಾಸ್ತೆ ತದಭಾವೋ ಅಯಮಪ್ಯಥ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಲೈನ್. It should go with the next shloka, then only it becomes complete. So in the first line of the shloka, Acharya praises the disciple. Satyamuktam tvaya vidvan nipunosi vicharane. Vidvan, he says, oh learned disciple, you are really a real jijnasu. You are the qualified mumukshu because you have put beautifully the question, directly analyzing all the information I have given you so far. So, you are really the learned one. Satyamuktam tvaya vidvan, vidvan he says. Nipunaha asi. So, you are so intelligent. You are so learned. The questions are really good and they are very apt. If everything is negated, then there is only total emptiness. Yes, that is your question. Yes. What you are thinking is correct. Your doubt is correct. All that you are saying is, if everything is discarded, then only nothing remains. Only emptiness. Only emptiness remains. Then how we can understand Atma? How we can understand Atma Swarupa? ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನಿರಾಕರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಏನೂ ಉಳಿಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೇವಲ ಅಭಾವ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೀನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀಯ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಹಂತ ಹಂತವಾಗಿ ಕೇಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್, of the shloka 213 should go with the next 214th shloka. Then it becomes a complete, total, correct information. So the next line, ahamadi vikaraste tadabhavo ayamapyatha sarve ye nanubhuyante yasvam nanubhuyate. Next line of the next sloka. अहमादि विकारास्ते तदभावो अयमप्यथा सर्वे येनानुभूयन्ते यस्वयं नानु अनुभूयते न अनुभूयते नानुभूयते न अनुभूयते सर्वे येनानुभूयन्ते यस्वयं न अनुभूयते. Very important point. Directly Acharya is taking the first itself. It is like hitting on the bullseye direct. ಈ ಎರಡು ಈ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಕೊನೆ ಚರಣ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಚರಣ ಸೇರಿದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಅಹಮಾದಿ ವಿಕಾರಾಸ್ತೆ ತದ್ ಅಭಾವ ಅಯಂ ಅಪಿ ಅಥ ಸರ್ವೇ ಏನಾನುಭೂಯಂತೆ ಯಹ ಸ್ವಯಂ ನ ಅನುಭೂಯತೆ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತು, ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಪದಾರ್ಥ ನಿನ್ನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಅರಿಯುತ್ತದೆಯೋ, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತದೆಯೋ, ಈ ನಿನ್ನ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಈ ನಿನ್ನ ಮಮಕಾರ, ಈ ನಿನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಗಳು, ನಿನ್ನ ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ವೃತ್ತಿಗಳು, ಇವುಗಳ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ, ಇವುಗಳ ವಿಕಾರಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಅವುಗಳ ಲಯವನ್ನು, ದೀರ್ಘ ನಿದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಹೊರಟೋಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ದೀರ್ಘ ನಿದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿನ್ನ ಅಹಂಭಾವ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಅದರ ಅಭಾವ, ದೀರ್ಘ ನಿದ್ದೆ, ಆ ಅಭಾವವನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಯಾವುದು ಅನುಭವಿಸುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತು ನಿನ್ನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ಥಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾರು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಯಹ ಸ್ವಯಂ ನ ಅನುಭೂಯತೆ. Nobody can understand, nobody can discern that unique vastu, that unique, what he says, Acharya, that one which understands, it's aware, understand, it is totally aware all the time in your waking state, in your dream state, in your deep sleep state. It is aware of everything. That vastu, that padartha is aware of your own identity, your own ego. It is aware of your own prana shakti. It is aware of your own mind and mental activities, manovyapara vritti, mental modifications, sankalpa, vikalpa, vikara, all types of mental, your feelings, negative, positive, all feelings, all the thoughts which come like waves, one after another, everything is known, it is aware. And your buddhi, it is aware. It is aware of your buddhi, buddhi shakti, dhi shakti, your analyzing power, nishchayatmaka buddhi. It is aware that your buddhi decides and tells you that what is correct, what is not correct. It is aware that your buddhi always says, this is wrong, this is right, this is dharma and this is adharma. It is aware of that. Not only that, it is also aware of the absence of all these, antakarana. It is also aware of the absence of the entire antakarana. What does it mean? It means in the deep sleep, my dear Shishya, you try to analyze. In the deep sleep, where is your mind? Are you aware of the deep sleep? Where is your buddhi? Are you aware of the deep sleep? Where is your ego? Me, aham. Where is that? Where is the antakarana? Where is your prana shakti, remembrance? All that is totally temporarily submerged. It is merged. It is lost. So abhava. So that vastu is also aware of the absence of your antakarana. That vastu is also is aware of the absence of your mind, buddhi and ego in the deep sleep. How? Because once you wake up, everyone, every time it has been told, everyone says how nicely and wonderfully I slept without any disturbance. Peacefully I slept. Peacefully I slept. See, that experience is observed, felt immediately after waking from the deep sleep. So that means there is some awareness. So that awareness. So what is that which remembers all these things? Sarve yena anubhoyante yas swayam na anubhoyate. So anubhoyante, all this is experienced by that padartha. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲವ ವೃತ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಆ ವಸ್ತು ಗ್ರಹಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ, ಅರ್ಥಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ಥಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಸ್ತು ಈಸ್ ಅವೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಇವರ ಅಂತಃಕರಣ ವೃತ್ತೀಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್. ಬಟ್ ನೋ ಯುವರ್ ನನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಂತಃಕರಣ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಅವೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್. ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್? So there is a vastu here which is aware all the time 24/7 in the present day modern language of computers. Eternally it is present. Eternally it is there. No death and no birth. It is always there. And it is being aware of everything happening. But none of your internal component, none of your body part, in simple, none of your body part, none of the avayavas, like your mind, your buddhi, your ego, your thinking capacity, intelligence, whatever you call, they cannot fathom what it is. They cannot reach there. They cannot understand. Your eye cannot see it. Your ears cannot hear that. Our nose cannot smell what it is. Our skin cannot even touch to feel the sense of touch. Our tongue cannot taste. All our 5 indriyas fall flat. ಕಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನ, ಕಿವಿಯಿಂದ ಕೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೂಗಿನಿಂದ ವಾಸನೆ ಗ್ರಹಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ವಸ್ತು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ, ನಾಲಿಗೆಯಿಂದ ಆ ವಸ್ತು ರುಚಿ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮುಟ್ಟಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶ ಸುಖದ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಯೂ ನಮಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ಅವರ್ ಜ್ಞಾನೇಂದ್ರಿಯಸ್ fail here. Our mind fails here. Our buddhi fails here. My ego, myself, I am so and so, myself, that ego, aham, ego, even that cannot understand. What is that? See, Upanishads are so vast, they explain all these things. To cut short, just one small example from the Upanishad. The Upanishad says, that vastu, that object, if you want to call it as an object. So that vastu, that padartha is the eye of the eye, Upanishad says. It is the eye of the eye. It is the ear of the ear. Because of its presence, the ear is functional. Because of its presence, its chaitanya, the eye is functional. It is the skin of the skin. It is the tongue of the tongue. And it is the nose of the nose. ಆ ವಸ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಂಚೇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಆಧಾರಪ್ರಾಯವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಅದು ಕಣ್ಣಿನ ಕಣ್ಣಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ಕಿವಿಯ ಕಿವಿಯಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ಮೂಗಿನ ಮೂಗಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ನಾಲಿಗೆಯ ನಾಲಿಗೆಯಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚರ್ಮದ ಚರ್ಮವಾಗಿದೆ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ವರ್ಣನೆಗಳು. ಸೊ that vastu, it experiences everything, but none of your body organs, none of the indriyas, none of your internal component can experience and come and tell you, oh, this is this. Acharya is starting like that. Ahamadi vikaraste tad abhavo ayam api atha sarve yena anubhoyante yah swayam na anubhoyate. Then the next line of the next sloka, he concludes in the next line, Tamatmanam veditaram vidhi buddhya susukshmaya. He gives the injunction here. The second line of the second sloka. What he says, emphatically, very clearly, precisely, Acharya now tells the disciple, so now you remember, my dear disciple, Tamatmanam veditaram vidhi buddhya susukshmaya. Susukshmaya buddhya veditaram tamatmanam vidhi. Now the Kathopanishad, one Mahamantra, one part Acharya is directly using here in this line. Buddhya susukshmaya vidhi comes from Kathopanishad direct. So what Acharya says now? Look, vidhi means you listen, you understand. Properly now, attentively you listen. What is that you should do? Susukshmaya, from your finest intellectual understanding, with that discerning and reasoning power, with viveka, with finest discrimination, with proper applying of viveka, you, vidhi, understand, veditaram tamatmanam. Veditaram means sarvasakshi bhuta, witness to all. It is a witness to all. So such a witness to all, such tamatmanam vidhi. So such atma, which is a pure witness, you have to understand that. Ninna sukshmavada, ಅತಿ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮವಾದ ವಿವೇಚನಾಯುಕ್ತವಾದ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಿಂದ ವಿವೇಕದಿಂದ ಸರ್ವಸಾಕ್ಷಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಸರ್ವಸಾಕ್ಷಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಅಂತ ಆತ್ಮನನ್ನ ನೀನು ಅರ್ಥಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ. So that is the second line of the second shloka. Now he continues, Acharya, tat sakshikam bhavet tat tad yad yad yena anubhuyate kasyapi ananubhutarte sakshitvam na upayujyate. Tat sakshikam bhavet tat tad yad yad yena anubhuyate kasyapi ananubhutarte sakshitvam na upayujyate. Next sloka. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? He is giving one basic logical example. Anybody can understand. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ತತ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಕಂ ಭವೇತ್ ತತ್ ತತ್ ಯದ್ಯದ್ ಏನಾನುಭೂಯತೆ. ಯಾರು ಯಾವ ಯಾವ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾನೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. See, anyone who witnesses an object, who sees an object, he becomes a witness because he is seeing the object. Very simple. Suppose I see your face sitting in front of me. What happens? I am the witness. You are the object. ನನ್ನ ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನೀವು, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ನೀವು ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಕೂತಂತ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ. Or when you are looking at me, you become the witness, I become the object. Very simple logic. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ತತ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಕಂ ಭವೇತ್ ತತ್ ತತ್ ಯದ್ ಯದ್ ಏನಾನುಭೂಯತೆ ಕಸ್ಯಾಪಿ ಅನನುಭೂತಾರ್ತೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿತ್ವಂ ನ ಉಪಯುಜ್ಯತೆ. Next line is very important. ಕಸ್ಯಾಪಿ ಅನನುಭೂತಾರ್ತೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿತ್ವಂ ನ ಉಪಯುಜ್ಯತೆ. That means what? In the absence of an object in front of you, you cannot be called as a witness. Sakshi. Sakshitva. So you cannot be the witness. You cannot be called as a sakshi. When the object is not in front of you, you are not seeing the object. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಆ ವಸ್ತು ಇಲ್ದಿದ್ದಾಗ ನೀವು ವಸ್ತು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ನೋಡೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ವಸ್ತುವಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಾಗೆ ನೀವು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಇದು ತಾರ್ಕಿಕವಾಗಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ, ತರ್ಕಬದ್ಧವಾದ ಉತ್ತರ. ಎದುರಿಗೆ ವಸ್ತುನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕಸ್ಯಾಪಿ ಅನನುಭೂತಾರ್ಥೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿತ್ವಂ ನ ಉಪಯುಜ್ಯತೆ. ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. We have to remember this. Why Acharya is talking this first? He is making very clear to you to understand what is sakshitva. What is that role of witness? What is that witnessing phenomenon actually? To give a further very good example, the entire planet Earth is there. It is, when the sunlight falls on that, the whole thing shines. Life continues. The daytime activities will happen automatically in the presence of sunlight. So the sun is a sakshi, witness to the earth, the planet Earth. He is witnessing. He is a sakshi himself. So imagine if the planet Earth is totally gone, disappeared. That means we totally gone, disappeared along with the planet. There is total destruction of Earth. It may happen, as modern day scientists call it, as Third World War, when a nuclear war erupts, or even some asteroid, huge one, hits. So whole life on the planet Earth will vanish. Yes, that is a very, very, very correct possibility. In fact, several people have predicted it's very near. In the near future, it's going to happen, they say. Total annihilation of life on the planet Earth. Okay, we'll keep that apart. So when the Earth itself vanishes, the sun cannot be called as a witness because the Earth is not there in front. Correct? So that is the point. Kasyapi ananubhutarte sakshitvam na upayujyate. Now, this argument, logical argument, next Acharya continues, makes it very clear. Asau susakshiko bhavo yata svenanubhuyate atah param swayam sakshat pratyagatmana chetaraha. Now, second line, he concludes with the total assertion. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು? ಅಸೌ ಸ್ವಸಾಕ್ಷಿಕೋ ಭಾವೋ ಯತಸ್ವೇನಾನುಭೂಯತೆ ಅತಃ ಪರಂ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಗಾತ್ಮಾನ ಚ ಇತರಃ ಚೇತರಃ ಚ ಇತರಃ. ಅಸೌ ಭಾವೋ ಸ್ವಸಾಕ್ಷಿಕಃ ಯತಃ ಸ್ವೇನ ಅನುಭೂಯತೆ. So Acharya says, in the absence of an object, what happens to the witness? What is the position of the witness? Can you call it a sakshi? ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಹಳ ಗೂಢವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪದಾರ್ಥ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವಾ. ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಪದಾರ್ಥ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಕಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿತ್ವ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಪಂಚವೇ ನಾಶವಾದ್ರೆ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಪ್ರಪಂಚಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಸೂರ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ನಾಶವಾದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ನೀವಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ವಿಟ್ನೆಸ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್, ಅಸೌ ಸುಸಾಕ್ಷಿಕೋ ಭಾವೋ ಯತಸ್ವೇನಾನುಭೂಯತೆ. So when the witnessing part is lost, when the object is not there in front, so this object cannot become a witness. If you are not there in front of me as an object, I cannot see you, means I cannot be the witness. So I cannot be called as a witness in as far as your presence is concerned. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಭಾವದಿಂದ ನಾನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. I am losing this power of witness, sakshitva. Then what happens? Acharya logically says, even in the absence of the witness, see, you remain. Correct? ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ನೀವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರು ನಾನು ಇರ್ತೀನಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ನಾಶವಾದರೂ ಸಹ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಭಾವ ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರು ಸೂರ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ. So in the absence of yourself, still I am existing, but I cannot be called as a witness as far as you are concerned. The sun cannot be called as a witness with reference to the earth when the earth is totally annihilated. But I remain. So Acharya calls asau bhavo swasakshikaha. So in this state, you yourself become your own witness. Asau bhavo swasakshikaha yata svena anubhoyate. You witness yourself as a sakshi. You become a witness to yourself. Your own self becomes your own witness. Your own self remains as self. It is aware of itself. It is a sakshi of itself. Swasakshikam. Asau bhavaha swasakshikaha yata svena anubhoyate. So you are experiencing yourself. You are aware of yourself. You remain a witness of yourself. That is the point. How best it can be simplified, I have no idea. Acharya is saying that. Asau bhavo swasakshiko yata svena anubhoyate. You are experiencing yourself. So you are a self-witness yourself. You are a self-witness for yourself. So when this knowledge of self-witness arises, that is nothing but self-realization, nothing but understanding my real reality. Once this realization happens, everything becomes very clear. The entire phenomenal world vanishes in the paramarthic sense, spiritual sense. You remain alone, yourself as a witness to yourself. Ekam eva advitiyam. So you are the one sakshi to yourself. You are that purna yourself. You are that whole yourself. You are the everything encompassing. Asau bhavo swasakshikam yata svena anubhuyate. Svena. You experience, you are aware of yourself. See, you are not a witness to anything else because there is nothing. You are the only one. ಈ ಭಾವ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Why it is so difficult? Because in the ultimate analysis, our Gurudev used to put in a beautiful one simple sentence. By the grace of the Sadguru or God, he used to say, the self, capital S. Please remember, self means your Atma, your Pratyagatma. The self will realize its own self by the grace of self itself. I'll repeat the sentence, what Gurudev used to tell me. By the grace of God, the self will realize its own self by itself. So then there is nothing else to achieve, nothing else remains. There is no other you never become a witness to anything else because you are the one, you are the only one. And you cannot tell this because you are not a witness. There is nobody else to say, nobody else to tell anything. So what happens then? There is only Mahamauna, as Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi used to say. Total Mahamauna, total silence. Once the self is realized, what you will become? You are totally silent spiritually. Total silence. Golden silence. You cannot explain to anyone else what it is. What it is. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say this in a beautiful anecdote, small stories. When somebody asks about Brahmajnana, Atmajnana, what is that Atmajnana? What is that Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi state? What is self-realization? Please explain. With the difficulty, with great difficulty, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Maharaj explained in a simple way. Look, in front of all of you, there are hundreds of people this side. There is a huge wall, long fourth wall, and you cannot see the other side. You cannot even climb. It is so steep and very long and vertical wall is there. And out of constant effort, out of hundreds this side, only one will climb the wall with great difficulty, up and up and up and up, and then he reaches the top of the wall. He looks at the other side. People on this side are watching and they are expecting, they are curious, they are shouting, please tell us, we have not gone that side up. We are fortunate to climb the wall. Please tell, what is that you are seeing the other side? What is there on the other side? That person sitting on the top of the wall looks on the other side. He simply exclaims with ecstasy, with the bliss, ha, 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 ha. Words will not flow from his mouth. Simply he will shout, ha, ha, ha. With all total bliss, total ananda, total ecstasy, he will jump on the other side. He will never come back to explain what is on the other side. That is what is self-realization. By Guru's grace, by Sadguru's grace or God's grace, any fortunate chosen person in this lifetime will reach that state. For that, initially, all efforts are required. As repeatedly said, with Shraddha, conviction, total surrender, Sharanagati, total devotion, and total Nishkama Bhava, selfless service, and Japa or meditation, Dhyana. These efforts are a must, required. Go exactly what the Guru says. Follow the instruction of the Guru. Then a day will come, the Guru becomes pleased. Inside he is there, outside he is there. He will open up, and then you become in a flash realizing your own reality. And then there is nothing else to achieve. You cannot tell this to others. You cannot explain this to others. So finally Acharya says, the next line, Atah param swayam sakshat pratyagatma na chetaraha. Atah param swayam sakshat pratyagatma na chetaraha. So remember, my dear disciple, so that is the param swayam sakshat pratyagatma. So that reality is your own Atma Swarupa, Pratyagatma. Inside your body residing, that Padartha is the Pratyagatma. That is Atma Swarupa. That itself is Atma Swarupa. Remember that. ಆ ವಸ್ತು ಪ್ರತ್ಯಗಾತ್ಮನಾಗಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅದು ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪರಂಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾದ ಆತ್ಮನೇ ನಿನ್ನ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಗಾತ್ಮ, ನಿನ್ನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ವಸ್ತು. ಆ ವಸ್ತುವೇ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪ, ವಸ್ತುವೇ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪ. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, same thing beautifully. There is one Maha Mantra. Yat Sakshat Aparokshat Brahma Yah Atma Sarvantaraha. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Yat Sakshat Aparokshat Brahma Yah Atma Sarvantaraha. Yah Atma Sarvantaraha. Yat Sakshat Aparokshat Brahma. So this is your direct experience, aparoksha. Directly you will experience, you will know, you will discern, it will flash, and you become that only. By the direct experience, you become that only. Ya Atma Sarvantaraha. Then you will know the same thing is pervading the entire universe. Whole thing is a Purna. Purnamada Purnamidam. Everything is Purna. Everything is based on this. There is nothing, no creation without the substratum of this Atma Vastu or Padartha. That is why the other part of another Upanishad Vachana is there. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. Really, everything is Brahma Padartha. Really, in the real sense, the whole thing is Paramatma Vastu. Yellavu Parabrahma Vastu. Upanishad ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. ಖಲು ಇದಂ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲು ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ವಿಧ ವಿಧವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಾಮರೂಪಗಳಿಂದ. ಅದರ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋಷ್ಟು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು, ಆ ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ವಿಜೃಂಭಣೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು. ಆ ಪರಮ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲರೊಳಗಿದೆ, ಚರಾಚರ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಸಕಲ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಂಡದಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಅದು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ Sadguru, today's discourse is being completed with a small, short Ram Bhajan. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwara. Thank you to all.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om. It was beautiful. Now our journey begins. The quest for the answers has begun.
Guru's
Thank you, sir.
grace.
Hari Om.
Let the Guru take over. I am nothing, he is everything.
Hari Om.
Okay, Hari Om.